to go ahead and make a video. My son actually decided to help me create a YouTube channel so that I can go over some of the things involved in my journey. And the first thing that I wanted to share with people, because I get a lot of questions, and just a lot of people that don't understand everything that's involved in with my particular situation. And so the one thing that people and that I really didn't understand, and that really I struggled with the most in this journey, is the colostomy bag. So essentially my tumor is in a certain spot in my rectum that basically doesn't allow anything to pass through. So it got to the point where it blocked. Even when they tried to do a colonoscopy, they weren't able to do a colonoscopy because the tube, the camera, whatever, won't go through. So they were only able to get up to the tumor, biopsy it, and come back. So they weren't able to complete a colonoscopy. So obviously that made it pretty impossible for me to go to the bathroom to do number 2. So they had to put in the colostomy bag so that my intestines essentially didn't explode. So the thing about my particular stoma, and the stoma is basically where the intestine comes out and stuff, the hole they cut and pull your intestine through. So mine is right in the middle of my stomach. A normal person would have theirs much lower in the right or left side, but because I have so many rolls of fat, there's no flat surface on my stomach, and they felt like right there in the rib cage was the flattest area that they could do. So that's where they put it. It's not ideal at all because it's just right there. It's hard to hide, it's hard to cover, it's hard to do anything. So there's that. But what I really wanted to share with people was what's entailed in having a colostomy bag and changing the unit. And so I'm not going to show you my bag. I'll show you the equipment, not on me, but I'll show you all of the equipment just so that you can have an understanding for those that are curious and want to know, because I do get questions about it. So I thought I would just do this. My goal in this whole journey is to help educate people, because I had no clue. In fact, when the doctor told me I had rectal cancer, I pretty much said, I think you're mistaken. I'm too young. Like, that doesn't happen to people my age. That doesn't happen to people who don't have a history of that in the family. And, you know, she assured me that she was not mistaken and that I did indeed have rectal cancer. And so I am trying to advocate and educate as much as I can so that someone else isn't in my shoes. You're not in your late 30s or maybe even younger, early 40s, and you're sitting there going, how did this happen to me, or what does this mean for me? So I will make other videos and I will go over the entire history of my symptoms and what I've gone through the past few years to get to this point, because I get those questions a lot too. How did they know it was rectal cancer? What was going on in my body? What gave it away? And so I will absolutely go over that, because I feel that this should have been caught a lot sooner than stage 4. And I'm not the only one that feels that way, but unfortunately, because of my age, it is what it is. And we're not going to dwell on that. But I did want to make some videos so that I can go over everything so that, you know, people know. Anyways, so we'll start with the actual bag itself, and that's this. Currently, this is the only piece of equipment that's covered by my insurance. So my insurance gives me 2 boxes of this every month. And each box has 10. So I get 20 of these a month. There are 30 to 31 days in a month. So I can't even change this every single day. It gets better. So this right here, this would be what would show, this would be what attaches to your stomach. And then obviously this pouch is what captures the bowel movements. It's only my intestines, so this is the only bowel movements. I still urinate like a normal person. This little piece right here is what it's attached with Velcro, so that's what you seal up. You Velcro it really secure, and then that's what keeps it in, and that's how you change it. I'm sorry, that's how you empty it. Because you are going to have to use this bag for many bowel movements, because it's going to have to last 1 to 2 days in order to not have to purchase them on your own. So you got to hope and pray that this bag stays attached to your body for pretty much right now. We're hoping for 2 days. We don't always get there. Sometimes I have to change a couple of them a day. So anyways, that's this. The way that this gets attached, because this right here, when you peel it off, let me try and get this closer. Let's see here. Okay. So when you peel this piece off right here, it is a little sticky, kind of like a Band-Aid. So I'm not going to peel it off because I don't want to ruin it, but this part, it is sticky. But it's not sticky enough, we'll just say that. So the next thing you need are these handy dandy scissors. They're curved, kind of nice. You have to then cut this to the size of your stoma. Mine currently is right there, so I have to cut 1, 2. So I cut it around there every single time. To save time when you're changing them, to make it go faster, you can pre-cut them. It's no big deal. Okay, the next thing you do is you have this ring. This is a sticky paste ring. So you take this out, you peel it's got 2 sheets of like wax paper because it's so sticky. And then you kind of like stretch it out to make the size of the hole that you want to put, and then you attach that to this once you peel that piece off. So you peel the plastic off and then you attach that, and then I put this to the side. The next thing you're going to need, currently for my particular routine, I have to mix together these 2 powders, and that's only because of my rash situation. My rash is pretty much almost healed, so eventually we'll stop with the powders, but for this time being, I have a nystatin, which is a prescription. It's basically like a really, you know how you put baby powder in with a baby's diaper? It's pretty much like a prescription strength baby powder. And then this is a stoma powder, which you can use every single time. It just basically helps with the irritation in case your skin starts to get irritated from having poop pressed against it. So just imagine, because we're only changing this every couple of days, right? So it's basically like sitting in a dirty diaper for 2 days. And then when you change it, you're immediately putting another one on. So, you know. So then once I remove the current one and get ready to put this one on, I have a packet of baby wipes always so that I can clean the area really good. Then you let it dry. Right? You like fan it out, let it dry. I use this postcard looking thing to fan it, let it dry. Then you move on with these wipes. So these are special wipes that make your they're called skin prep wipes, and they make your skin sticky. So it's going to help all of this stuff stick to your skin, especially if you put the powder down, because the powder is going to make it not sticky. If you put the powder down, you have to make sure you cover with this, because because it's going to add that adhesive. It's like a liquid adhesive, a liquid Band-Aid pretty much. And then we're going to air it out. Okay. Then at that point, you're ready now to put this on. So it's cut. It has the ring, the barrier ring on it. And then I kind of squish it down to kind of make it fit in that fold. And then I just press it to my belly, right over. And you hold it. Then you get these little extender things. So they look like this. And this is, again, another like big Band-Aid type thing. So you pull these and they go on your skin right there. So it just makes it more adhesive. So it makes it adhere to your skin more. So one goes on that side. One goes on this side. Okay. And then it leaves a little bit of a gap, and I have some smaller ones that I just put down here and up here, so that and depending on how we get them on, sometimes there isn't a gap, but sometimes there is. I guess it also depends on how my stomach is that day, if it's more bloated or what, I don't know. But sometimes we need the little extenders and sometimes we don't. So that's that step. Okay. Then after all of that, to really get that to stick onto your body, you can, if we feel like maybe there's still a little bit of gaps from some of the lumps or whatever, we'll go in with some surgical tape and we'll just put some tape around some of the areas. Okay. And then after that, we heat up this nice sock of rice. So we'll heat this up for a minute, minute and a half, sometimes 2 minutes. And then I will lay down with the sack of rice right over it. And that heat is going to get all of these, this part and this ring to kind of melt and to fill in all of the little crevices and everything that's in there. And then that's sticky and it's going to now stick onto the belly. And then I'll sit there a good, 2 to 5 minutes with the heat on. Then I'll remove the heat, but I'll keep pressure. I'll just keep holding it down. And I'll do that for as long as I can. Sometimes I'm having to change this in the middle of a work day or in a public restroom or at an infusion center. And so you don't always have the time to just sit and lay still. Depending on if it's leaked onto my clothing, I may be sitting there with no clothing on. So I try and lay as still as I can for as long as I can. But usually when I don't have clothes on, I want to get something on. So I get up. For the first while that I'll get up, I kind of just keep it pressed to my stomach as much as I can, because any movement is going to shift how it's folding, how it's laying in there. And then after good 10-20 minutes, I'm free to move around and without holding it. The way I know that it's on really secure is when I stand up after laying down for that good 20 minutes or however long I let it set in, and it sucks, like you can feel it sucking into, and that's when I know it's really airtight, and it's really good in there. And then usually I can get a good 1 to 2 days if we get that sealed in really properly. Once it starts to leak, whether it leaks out or not, you have to change the unit, unfortunately, because you can't sit with the poop on your stomach. It's gonna create that major rash like I had at the a couple weeks into having this. We weren't doing things correctly, and it created that really bad rash that, you know, the nurse said was like a 2nd-degree burn on my stomach. So we learned our lesson, and so we try and change them out very frequently. So the main purpose of this was to just point out and show people that of all of the equipment involved in changing the colostomy bag, so far the only thing that I've gotten insurance to cover is this piece. My copay on this piece is the 2 boxes of this is $29. So $29 every month just for this piece. However, what I have to pay out of pocket is for these rings, for these wipes, for my powders. One's a prescription and one you can just order from Amazon or any medical supply place. I have to pay for these extra things. And so my last purchase that I made from Amazon was $88, and that was just for like bare minimum supplies. So that I think sucks. And and I actually have really good insurance. So if that's how it is for me, I'm assuming that that's how it is for all people with colostomy bags, which isn't okay for me. I've been calling the insurance, the medical groups. I've been calling the medical supply places. I've been calling the manufacturers almost daily and saying, you know, like, how do you expect this to stick to my skin if you don't give me the other supplies that I need? And so that's frustrating beyond belief. And so one of the, it's actually the manufacturer who makes this particular bag. I wasn't using this manufacturer in the beginning. I was using Hollister, but this manufacturer is Convatec, and they actually sent me a really cool sample box, and in it had a really cool carrying case. It had 3 of these bags, like enough to change my unit 3 times. It had 3 of these rings, you know, 3 of these extender pieces, some wipes for 3 times, and so it had all of that that stuff, and it was actually pretty cool that they took the time to do that. And the carrying case is really nice because it allows me to put all my supplies in one place and to carry it without it being so noticeable that that's what it is. I was very self-conscious about my colostomy bag in the beginning. I know when I go out in public, especially if it's kind of lumpy because there's some poop in there, people look at you like, you know, you don't know what it is, but I guess you're guessing what it is or what, because it's underneath the shirt, but it is odd. So I was a lot self-conscious about it in the beginning, about people knowing what I have, but there's nothing I can do about it. So at this point, I really don't care. Some of the other things, now when I go out in public, when I'm home, I don't really care. But when I go out in public, or I'm going to be doing a lot of walking or even driving around in the car, I just got this, which my home health nurse recommended. It's like it's a binder, basically. It's like a girdle that will hold it, and then there has this. So basically it secures it more so you're not moving around, and so the chances of it coming loose are a lot less. Before I had this, which of course I paid out of pocket for, but before I ordered this, I was just using an ace banded. I just would wrap this around me as much times as I could to kind of hold it in place, which wasn't comfortable and wasn't feasible. But luckily, my home health nurse told me about this. She was like, yeah, it's probably better than the ace bandage. And so I was able to get it. And then I, you know, at some point we'll probably order a second one, just in case, like if you're leaking or whatever and you have to put it in the wash machine, then I have a second one to go out with. But anyways, I just wanted to share this part of my life with y'all, to let you guys know that that's what this entails. I actually was over at a friend's house this past weekend, and she helped me change my bag a couple of times. And she was just like, wow, there has to be, I mean, we were changing the whole system. And she's like, there has to be an easier way. Like, this is insane. You would think that at this day and age, it would be easier, it'd be more secure. And so I agree. You know, there should be, it should be a lot easier, first of all. I mean, I shouldn't have as many leaks as I do, and I shouldn't have as many problems as I do with it. But in addition to that, the insurance should cover more than just the back. I mean, how are you supposed to get this to stay to your skin? I mean, I didn't choose to have a colostomy bag. I mean, I guess in the end I did choose. I had to consent to the surgery, right? But my alternative was to hope and pray that the tumor shrunk enough to allow my bowel movements to pass through before my intestines exploded. So, I mean, before the surgery, before putting the colostomy bag in, it got to the point where I was really not eating, because eating made me sick. Digesting food made me sick. I was in extreme amount of pain. That's why I feel amazing now when everyone asks, how are you doing? I feel really, really good, because right before getting the colostomy bag in, I was in so much pain. I barely moved. I barely ate. I didn't have energy because I wasn't eating. Just everything hurt. So getting the relief just from the colostomy bag, or getting the stoma, really helped, you know. So I really didn't have an alternative. I didn't choose for this, you know, to be a part of my life, hopefully for just the next year. But you would really think that insurance would want to help out. I mean, I get that this is the essential piece, but the rest of this is equally essential in order for me not to leak all over the place, you know, in order for me not to be able to have some kind of life where I'm not just pooping onto my shirt or pants all the time. So it is a struggle, and that's what I'm here. I'm just here to kind of educate, let people know what's going on. You know, I'm not the only one who's going through this, obviously. And some of my wonderful friends have actually come up with some really cool things to help. A really crafty friend of mine made a whole bunch of covers that will cover this up, because my first bags that they sent me home from the hospital were so long that they would show through the bottom of my shirts, and I would be embarrassed, obviously. I mean, if I had to go to the grocery store, I had to run my kid to school, you're walking around and the bottom of your bag is showing. Like, you know, you could tuck it into your pants, but then if it leaks, it's gross, you know. So it was really embarrassing. So she made these cloth covers, and I don't know if I have any right here, but she made some really cool cloth covers, and I was like, oh my gosh, those are amazing. And so I wear them because just in case the wind blows my shirt up, or I don't know, I'm getting out of the car or something and my shirt comes up, then I'm not so self-conscious, like, oh my gosh, everyone's gonna see the bag. It's covered and it's cute. You know, she made like some Jack Skellington ones, some really cute Snoopy ones, just other designs that she had from some scrap fabric laying around. And so, and she made a bunch. So I took some to the ostomy nurse at UCSD, and I told her like she can give them to patients, because I know I'm probably not the only one who has one that's self-conscious about it. You know, it's not something that you want. I don't know. It's just, I know what it looks like, and so it's not like if I were out and about and I saw somebody else's, it would be kind of disturbing. So it was something that bothered me a lot. And I find that now I do go out a little bit more now that I have it more under control, and now that I have something to cover them, I do, go out a little bit more. I'm more comfortable going out, basically. So anyways, yeah, if you watched this whole video, thank you. I hope you learned something. I know that everyone who's experienced this with me has said that they've learned something from it, and I most certainly have learned a lot from this, and so has Brian. It's, I can do most of this on my own. I can do most of that whole process on my own. Do I do it as well as when I have a helping hand? No, but I can if Brian's in the office and my home health nurse isn't here. I can change it by myself. It's not going to be, the greatest job, but just having Brian help me, even emptying my bag. I usually don't empty it by myself. Not that I can't, but just having someone there in case you need more toilet paper in really quickly, or you need another wipe really quickly. Just having those extra set of hands really helps. So Brian is really amazing for, going in the bathroom every single time with me. I mean, there are times that I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll be like, oh, it's really full. I should probably empty it. And it'll be like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I have to call him or text him and say, hey, can you come help me empty my bag or change my bag? And so, I mean, it's pretty awesome. I guess that it's when you love a person, right? You're willing to change their poop bag in the middle of the night. So, I mean, yeah, it's been very interesting. And so I just wanted to share that as much as I could with everyone, or everyone that was interested. So like I said, my son is setting up a YouTube channel. I will go through, my next video will probably be going through my entire journey from beginning to end, where it started and to where I got diagnosed. And it's a long journey, so I don't know if that many people are aware of kind of the details about it, but this has been years in the making. It wasn't something that I just woke up overnight with, and like, oh, you wake up one day and you have a toothache and you're like, oh my God, and you need a root canal or something. It wasn't that. This was something that I've struggled with for a very long time, and so I'll go over that entire journey in another video. Okay, well, thank you, and everyone have a good day.